Hello everybody, Darcy Marler here. In this week's video, we're going to talk about how you're going to fund your projects, but not how you're going to fund the full amount. How can we use tricks to bring the number that we actually need down to something reasonable? This is going to be a really great video. You're going to love this one. So like this video, subscribe to my channel. And if this is you, if you're getting serious about real estate development, I've got an online real estate development course that is exactly what you need. It teaches you these kind of tricks to how to find stuff, how to fund it, how to build new, how to be creative, all this stuff that you need to know to succeed in this real estate development world. So contact me. My information is in the description below. Email me, reach out through Zoom, through Calendly. Let's talk about your future in real estate development. Yeah, so let's talk about how am I ever going to be able to afford this project? We get into a project and the numbers seem huge and daunting and we get a little fearful and we get stuck, maybe a little analysis paralysis. How do we fight through that? How do we actually pay for this stuff? So I'm going to show a real life case study. This actually came across my desk just last week. And it's a real project, real numbers, real time. So basically, we're going to purchase 80 acres of grassland, and we're going to turn that into 85 saleable half-acre service lots. We're not going to do the actual end construction of the buildings. We're just going to create service lots and sell that to a builder. So we're going to buy the land and the soft costs from investor money, and then finance the actual construction on site with construction loan. So we're looking at 3 months to close, 3 months for permitting, and then 12 months on site. So theoretically, the construction is done at 18 months, and we're looking for $1.5 million from investors for the land costs, $200,000 for the soft costs. That's the permitting and paper, blueprints, environmental reports, that kind of stuff. Get that for investors as well. And the hard cost is anything we're actually going to do on site, putting the pipe in the ground, stripping, grading, putting the road in, light standards, fire hydrants, all that kind of stuff. That was 3.4 million. So, oh my God, I'm looking at $5 million. How am I going to raise $5 million? This just looks so incredibly hard. You know, how am I ever going to raise 1.7 for investors and 3.4 million construction loan? Now scale this up or down for yours. So maybe you're at a situation where, geez, I'm trying to do a $500,000 project and it's overwhelming, or $1 million. So scale this up or down, but say, $5 million, how am I ever going to raise $5 million? Well, one of the secrets is, what if you don't need that much money? Can we break the project into separate parts to see if we can lower the amounts needed? So one way, can I get the land for cheaper? There's an old saying, as you're talking to the seller, you can get price or terms, but not both. So if I'm sitting there with a bunch of cash, it puts me in a great leverage position. So let's say I do raise the 1.7 million, so I can sit there and show a realtor I've got, proof of funds. If I'm getting into a situation where I'm dealing with a motivated seller, I can potentially negotiate that number down. So it's not $1.5 million for the land, it's maybe $1 million or $1.2 million. And I think a lot more of those opportunities are going to come up over the next few months as we're kind of going through some of this interest rate renegotiation and as loans come due, we're going to have a lot of people that are kind of motivated to do that. So if you've got cash, you can potentially get a better deal. What about the opposite? What if I'm worried about terms, right? So, okay, what if I overpay the seller? What if I pay them 1.8 or 2 million for the land, but I negotiate a 2-year close? I don't end up buying the land, right? So I don't need the 1.5 million. I'm going to partner with the seller. Typically, let's say I need 75% loan to value and a 25% down payment, 25% deposit on a $5.1 million project is like 1.2 or 1.3. So the $1.5 million value of the land is automatically kind of going to be to where I need to be to I can qualify for the construction loan. So I'm controlling the land. I don't necessarily have to buy it. Remember that. You just have to control the land. I'm partnering with the seller. So in that case, I don't need the $1.5 million to buy it. I only need the $200,000 for the soft costs. Now maybe there's a small deposit, 50 or 100,000 now to the seller, whatever you can negotiate there. The rest might come in phases or it might come at closing, right? So I'm greatly reduced the amount of money that I need to finance this thing. The seller gets paid out of sales proceeds, which isn't your money. He's going to get a piece of the back end, so maybe an equity play. We teach 11 different ways in the course to potentially partner with sellers. Any way you look at it, this is going to save you from having to raise a bunch of money or paying interest to investors. It's going to save you a lot of finance costs. Can I save money on the soft costs or hard costs? Now, I've never been this guy that's beaten up the trades. Let's grind them. Like, I've never been that guy. Get your best deal, but don't grind. So what I'm talking about here is, can you phase the development, right? So let's say I don't need to do all the construction. I don't need to put all the pipe in the ground and create all 85 lots at once. Maybe I take a little bit longer than 18 months, but I just do enough so I can get 20 service lots. Saves me a bunch of money. I don't have to spend the whole thing. I'm only creating 20 service lots. I sell those 20 lots. Now I can almost self-fund, right? So now I'm going ahead. I'm requiring much less construction money, and I'm self-funding. The trade-off is time, but this is a significant way to reduce the cash you need as well. Can you potentially partner with development companies or builders? Again, we're greatly saving you the money that you need. Can you qualify for higher loan-to-value construction loans? Federal governments on both sides of the border, both the United States and Canada, are coming out with kind of higher leverage construction loans to meet the need of the housing crisis, right? Can you qualify for one of these? Government rebates, tax reductions, other incentives. Can you kind of lower the money or get new money coming in for that? Can I pre-sell the finished lots? Maybe even potentially before I close on the original 80 acres. This actually happened here in this case study. So I didn't tell you that off the front. Little surprise here. Actually, all 85 lots are already sold to a builder at $95,000. Think about a builder. What they're doing is they're not trying to find land for 2023. They're already booked up for 2024. They're looking at forward-thinking contracts for 2025. Well, 18 months from now puts me in 2025 anyway, right? So now that lines up perfectly. What's the benefit of that? There's deposit money. 15% deposit money from the builder when the due diligence is complete. Now, some jurisdictions don't let you use deposit money. It has to be kept in trust, but there's something called deposit insurance. You can pay a premium to an insurance company and get potentially some or all of that deposit released that you can actually use it. Well, that greatly reduces, the amount of money that you need for construction draws. Instead of 3.4, or a construction loan, now instead of 3.4 million, I need 2.2, for example. Or I can potentially allow an earlier repayment back of my investors to get them their money back and save some interest rates. Maybe if it's quick enough, now instead of having to come up with 1.5 to buy the land, now I only need 300,000 to buy the land because I'm going to use part of this deposit to pay for that. That's why I'm always going on about, get to know some builders, and part of our world here is we need to learn and get to know builders so we can actually pre-sell stuff before we get too far down in the project. Either way, this is going to lower interest payments to the investors or the bank. So altogether, the moral of the story is don't get scared away by the big numbers. There's ways that we can make it better by just, some of the things we already talked about. So if this is you, if you're interested in getting serious about real estate development, these are kind of some of the things we teach in my real estate development course. How to fund it better, how to find it better, all kinds of tricks like this. You need this course. It's going to pay for itself just with this information alone, kind of thing, right? So my information, contact me. My information is in the description below. Email me, reach out through Zoom, through a calendar link, however. But let's get together and talk about your future in real estate development. Thank you.